Hello, listeners. You're listening to 18 Minutes with Satyal and Silwal. I am Satyal.
And I am Silwal, and we're a podcast from the Himalayas.
The whole idea of this podcast, like you already know, is to bring in perspectives from different walks of life to start a conversation.
Talking about conversations, so far we've talked, our guests have talked, but we want our listeners to talk as well. We want them to come to us and share their ideas with us.
Exactly. If you have some stories that you think are worth sharing, write to us. We'll talk about it. If you think you yourself should be a part of this podcast and talk with us, come to us. Just write to us. You have the Facebook links just right there below you.
7 billion people, and we still feel lonely sometimes. We don't have that friend to talk to. And we, Satyal and I, want to be that friend who believes in you, in your stories, and we want that to come out.
Exactly. And not just success stories. If you're sad, share it with us so that we could be two friends. We could be there for you. If you're happy, share it with us so that we could share it with the 124 subscribers who are actually a part of our tribe right now. And speaking of subscribers, man, 124 subscribers.
Without any sponsorship.
Exactly. It's all very organic, which means that we've not put in any money there because we simply don't make any money out of this podcast.
And the funny thing is, many a times people ask us, why are you starting a podcast? How are you earning? We're not doing it for money. We're not doing it for anything. We just want to talk and bring in stories and ideas and perspectives and just start a conversation.
Exactly. With what started with wanting to talk has now turned into building this community of people who are together. So among 124 people, and we have around 650 followers on Facebook, we are now a community. And that's where all of this comes in. We start a conversation, we talk about different aspects of life, and we just be there for each other. So that is how it goes. And to our listeners on SoundCloud as well, we welcome you. We're now on SoundCloud as well. So
yeah, and this goes on to all those listeners who wanted us to be on SoundCloud as well, and not just on YouTube. Yeah. So it was specifically for them who requested us to be on SoundCloud. So
yeah, exactly. And one good thing about SoundCloud is if you're listening to us on your mobiles, you probably can do other things, multitask as well. Okay, Silwal, so what do we have for today?
Today, we wanted to talk about ourselves and make a more deep connection with our audience rather than bringing a guest in and trying to have a conversation with them.
Trust us when we say this, we don't have a guest not because they declined to come to our show. We have a few.
That definitely did not happen.
We have a few very big names lined up for future episodes, but for now, we're going to talk more about who we are and why we're doing this, right? So the first question I would want to ask to you, Silwal, is who are you and what do you do? Who is this person behind this screen of our listeners?
The person behind this screen is a sexy 6'5" guy. No,
you're a man. I think you're 5'2" or something.
I'm very short. Not that short, but anyways, I'm very sensitive about my height. I am an educator. I've been teaching for the last 5 years. Trust me, I'm not that old. I'm just 24. But after my A-levels, I did a year gap, and during my year gap, I started teaching, and I found my passion there.
That's
to be
nice.
in a classroom, to teach, to interact with young minds, that's where my passion lies. Along with this podcast, I'm also a visiting faculty member at Kathmandu School of Law, where I interact with first semester students, and basically that's what I've been doing.
Okay, how does that make you feel when you are doing something that you like doing?
I think I love it. I think apart from teaching, my other passion lies in traveling, and doing those things gives me immense happiness. And when I ask myself and when I'm true about myself, I can be like, damn son, you've been doing something which you really love.
And I'm sure a lot of your students are listening to you right now, so this could be another platform for you to connect with your students.
Yes, and I don't see my students as someone who's below me, but someone who's my camaraderie or my friend who I can give suggestions to and take,
because and learn from them as well.
Yes, we learn from just about anyone, right? Everyone has lived a story and has something which we don't know, and that's what I live for.
Okay, that reminds me of a famous saying: every person you meet knows something that you don't. So I think if you can look at everyone in those eyes, I think it would be a great learning curve.
Apart from that, Satyal and I have also been running Smart Class in Columbus International School. It's been more than a year now.
It's been more than a year, yes.
Apart from that, I think that's it, for me. I know Satyal has done many things other than just that.
Don't give me that pressure, bro.
Yeah, I'm always going to give you that pressure. So over to you, Satyal. Who are you and what are you doing?
I think primarily I'd say I'm an educator whose life purpose will always be to share whatever little I know. So I get immense joy, like you said, when I share things that I know and learn from the people I share with. And to do that, I do three things: I teach, I write, I speak. That's my domain. So in regards to teaching, I'm a visiting trainer at King's College. So I go there, I do speaking and writing workshops for the undergrads and master's level students, and I'm also a mentor for the first year BBA students. So I just help them get the best out of their college life. About writing, I run my blog sagarsatyal.blogspot.com. I write about relevant issues for students, and I also write for the career section in the Himalayan Times Perspectives.
So you just know who's the more successful guy in this podcast.
No, but on a serious note, it's not about success. I think it's my life. I've always tried to experiment with different things.
I'm just kidding with you right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I just want to tell this to our listeners. You just need to go out and you need to experiment. Some things work for you, some things don't. Like when we started this podcast, we did not know that we would have 124 subscribers or 650 plus connections on Facebook. We just thought 20 people would listen to us, and at the end of the day, we'd still become better presenters and improve ourselves.
Yeah, if you think we already know what we want to do in life, the answer is still no.
No,
we're still looking for it.
A lot of times.
Many a times people come to you, hey, you're starting a podcast, you're doing
and you
this.
have it all figured out. That's what they tell us. But the truth be told, and this is a secret, by the way, we don't have anything figured out. We don't know what's going to happen the next day. But the good thing is, you're around people that motivate you to do better. I'm lucky to have Silwal here. He was away to Pokhara for a week, and I felt like out of sorts alone. Not that we have anything there.
Yeah,
but
we're still.
But I just
I
think,
don't want to say anything on this.
I just think you need to be around people that push you to become better, and as a team, and you just need to keep exploring. And I think it will take you places.
And I think this is where we come in as a podcast for all those listeners out there. We want to be that support that you think you need in order to go get that dream.
Exactly.
Go find that passion that you probably are looking for.
Exactly. One of you could have a dream that could be, helped by someone else who has another dream, and together you could do something, right? We could all be in the same community. So we want to be that mediators, that, those two people who bridge the gap between two people who are trying to follow their dreams, and we'd love to do that for you. So the idea is to, look out, and that's why we say, write to us, write about your dreams, write about the things that you're thinking about, and we'll definitely feature them so that you can get connected through this platform. Speaking of this platform.
Yeah, speaking of this platform, I was coming to that. Many people have asked us, why not video and why just a podcast? Our answer has always been a funny one. That is, we have faces for radio.
Yeah.
But what is the real reason, Satya?
The real reason, like we said from the start, is we are a very organic-based idea. So our recordings and everything, we do it through my space at my house.
He has a very big house. No, nothing like that. Let me paint you a picture. We're in his room. We're sitting on his carpet, and there's a Mac in front.
There isn't any sofa as well. Like no sofa. So you just have a laptop there. We just record it because we have not put any money into this, and we don't really make money, like we already said. So it's all a very homegrown production. So doing a video means that you need another videographer, you need a nice camera and all those things, which is a very cumbersome thing for us right now.
And the funny thing is, because we wanted to start this, we had Animesh there, and he was so happy that we were starting this. And the moment we talked to him about it, he was quick with the logo and everything, and he edited our stuffs as well. And that's when we tell you, all right, that you need to tell your dreams to others, and probably you'll find someone like Animesh, someone like who's
Satyal finds a Silwal, and both of them find Animesh. Yes. I think that is how it works.
Because we talk about our dreams, and many a times what I've gotten from my friends, my family, is they're afraid to take that first step. And trust me, we were afraid to take the first step of our first episode as well. We knew that it was not going to be the best episode in the world, but we had to do it because we needed to move ahead. The डर के आगे जीते भन्छ साच्चीकैमा हो के त्यो चाहिँ.
That is right? So true, right? So the idea is to communicate your dreams, and you will find like-minded people that will help you get there. So that was about the video, and of course, it does not mean that we'll never do videos. We're open-minded people. So in case you're a listener who has good videography skills and you think that there's something that can be done, write to us. Again, it's all about communication.
Yeah, if you're a plastic surgeon, please talk to me. I need to get my face fixed as well.
I don't need that. Okay. Next question. Why 18 minutes? How did this name come about?
Satyal knows it better because we love listening to TED Talks, and all the TED Talks that we've listened to has an 18-minute time
That's the
frame.
standard time.
Yeah,
for
that's
18
the
minutes.
standard time, and people are gonna lose interest if it's more than 18 minutes. So we couldn't do it shorter because we would love to talk, and sometimes we go overboard with our talking. So 18 minutes sounded pretty good.
Pretty
So-
good, yeah. Thanks for that. And Satyal and Silwal, not because I wanted my name to come in front of his name,
Yes,
but
it is that.
But it just like rhymes so well, and especially after the logo and the fantastic work that Animesh has done,
Yeah.
it just like came out perfectly. So that is how it worked.
Okay,
right?
next question that we get every time is on every Tuesdays we get is, when is the episode coming out? It's Tuesday already, and we have to tell them it's a fortnightly one.
Yeah, we
and the
have to
question is
remind
why not weekly?
A weekly thing. Okay, regarding that, every time we come out with an episode, it has to be rich in content,
Yeah.
right? But recently we've been getting a lot of feedback. People have been asking us to do it weekly, which shows that people are loving us and they're supporting us. So, I would want you to write #weekly or #fortnightly. If you think that we should do it weekly, then probably we'll have to cater to your demands and
Yeah.
match it up with the supply. So do write to us. Tell us if you think that fortnightly is okay or
to
it's
be
weekly.
honest, when we did it fortnightly, I was very lazy to come to Satyal's house every week in order to record this. But I think we found this love for our podcast that I think I'm ready to come to his house, and he's ready to open the doors anytime, and let's be like, all right, let's record a podcast.
Okay, the next question is, do you do it? Do you do the recordings at one go? I'm not gonna answer that. So over to you, Silva.
That's a secret that should not be revealed to anyone. That's something that you need to figure it out on your own. That was about us. If you thought we talked about us a little too much, probably this was our way of connecting with all those people who have never listened to us, and that was saying hi to all those new listeners.
Exactly.
So, Satya, 1 year has passed. The earthquake,
It shook us.
It shook us. It's still sometimes shaking us. What is going on now? 1 year down the line, have we learned anything from it?
I don't know, man. To be very honest, I thought everyone was going to die. I was with my grandmom अनि त्यो slab माथिबाट खसेर मर्छु जस्तो लाग्थ्यो. I thought it would change my life completely. But to be very honest, I think that we've started to take things for granted again. अब पहिला एकदमै लाइफ चेन्ज हुन्छ, म केही गर्छु, I've got this second life जस्तो भइरहेको थियो. But then again, अहिले आएर एक्कासी I've been taking things for granted again.
Why have we
What about
been-
you? Like, do you resonate the same feeling?
I think when you say about that, I think this resonates to all the other people who've survived the earthquake. Bless those souls who've not survived it and who did not get the chance to see light of a new day. But to us as well, many of us are still working hard to help those earthquake victims. But many of us have become lazy in the sense that, the earthquake came, the earthquake went.
आइरहन्छ यो भइरहन्छ
Yes.
every day हल्लाइरहेछ जस्तो कुरा भएर चाहिँ not just in terms of helping other people, but are we helping ourselves achieve our dreams?
Yes.
And
Moving on to critical topic, you got a second life basically after
yes,
that
you
earthquake.
death nearly kissed you and kissed us, and we survived it. But are we
Taking our life for granted again
exactly?
because we're living for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Another earthquake comes tomorrow and we're again flat out, right?
Exactly.
You can die just about any day, any time, but still we take things for granted. We don't appreciate the life we have. What is wrong with our way of thinking?
Exactly. Like, as we record this podcast, this could be the last episode that we ever do. If something happens to me tomorrow, Silwal will probably get a new partner, but it's not going to be Satyal and Silwal anymore. Just an example, right?
He's a dramatic, so please give it up for his dramatic skills.
But no, I just want you guys
Yes,
to realize that
Yes.
this is going to be the last time. It's not just us, right? Your parents, your relatives, your best friend, your friend that you've not talked to for 2 years now.
Your crush that is out there and you've still not told him or her that you like her.
Are we taking things for granted? Do we not realize that we can die one day and it could be tomorrow?
Not we can, but we will
We
die.
will die, and it could be tomorrow, right?
It is a given fact, right? So what should we be doing in order to fulfill our life? Because we get one life. I don't trust about these reincarnations and all. That's a whole different ball game. But if you've got one life, say one life to live, why aren't we making the best use out of this? Why aren't we following our dreams? Why aren't we doing the things we love? Why aren't we talking to the people we love? Why aren't we expressing our love? Why aren't
I
we...
think that,
There's so many things
like,
that
when you
we...
put it that way, when you're in this very stressful situation, or when you want to reach out to that one person, one question you could ask yourself is, hey, I'm not gonna live forever, so I don't have anything to lose, right? I might as well just like go out and talk. Worst case makyun, so we both won't survive forever, right? That could be one way of looking at things.
And one decision can change your entire life.
Yeah, I
Right.
read this quote somewhere. You're one decision away from a completely different life, and at the end of life, there's death, and that's what happens to all of us.
And Tuesdays with Maury as well. The book that we love immensely. I personally love reading that book.
The same with me,
You know,
man.
it talks about how we don't think about death, and death is somewhere very far. But one day, each day you're living is one day closer to your death, and that is why we should be. You know, I don't know why we're not moving up our asses to actually find that thing that makes our life worth living for.
Exactly, like, if you wake up every day thinking it's gonna be your last, one day it will be true. I think this is I took this out from Steve Jobs' commencement speech at Stanford. I think that is so right. So imagine if you're constantly thinking about death and that you'll die one day. Imagine how differently you would live, and you live to your fullest. I think that way, right, Silva?
Yeah.
So let me take your commitment. Will you start thinking about death more often now? Will you take death for granted from now, after this conversation?
No, man. I always wanted to be a writer, and I've never actually written anything. That's been my dream, to write something tangible. And I think I need to make a commitment on a podcast so that I actually
goes out in the public,
Yes, it goes
right?
out in the public, and I start writing things. Because by the end of my life, if I have not written something, I will have missed out on something that I really, really, really wanted to do. So there's so many things that you really, 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 really want to do but haven't done.
And you've like always postponed it for some opportune time, but the idea is to take this moment and make it opportune, right? So at this moment of time, we want you to comment or write to us on our Facebook, or if you're on SoundCloud, comment, or on our YouTube channel. We want you to make a commitment and say, okay, I realize that I cannot defeat death, so before death defeats me, I want to do these things, and I want to take one step that takes me towards my dreams.
And exactly, man. This is what we should be looking forward to. Death is certain, so let's do something about it and make our lives a little more interesting before we, say goodbye to Earth and be like, all right, adios. brother."
Exactly, and when you're on your deathbed, you could look back at your life and say things could have been so much different, right? So this is one thing that we want to tell our audience. Let's start living a life that is true to ourselves. Let's not take death for granted.
Yeah. And let's also remember all the people who lost their lives during the earthquake, and take that as a chance to a second life, to 1 year of your new birth, and start doing something.
On that note, we come to Satyal and Silwal's recommendation for the week. What is it, Silwal?
We want you to think about your dream and write it down on a piece of paper.
No. That's not gonna work, because every time we do that, we don't follow up on our own commitment, right? So what we want you to do is,
Being your friend,
hashtag with the caption, hashtag my dream is. We want you to write to us about what your dream is and how you intend to fulfill it. And we will make sure that we get back to you and constantly remind you if you're following up on your dreams or not.
all right, with that, we come to the end of the fourth Tuesday of 18 Minutes with Satyal and Silwal. A big thank you to everyone who listened to us on YouTube as well as SoundCloud. And a big thank you again to our technical guru, Animace Animax Shrestha.
If you've liked our efforts so far, do like, share, and subscribe.
And one last thing, it's never too late to start.